I'm sorry. That's what Sidekick did yesterday. Apologizing when you are wrong is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, so you can stay. But if you come over here with some nonsense and some bullshit, I will use you as an example. And as Darnetta mentioned, you getting a ticket to the block party. And now you will never have access. And there's no one else in the world teaching you how to use your brain to your advantage for you to become your best. There is no one else. Because if there was, I would be researching the shit out of the research that they already have. So that is what's taking place. You said Dr. Donna is a beast. Because they were the actual lesson. And sitting in that uncomfortableness, as I asked the other day, do you handle conflict when it occurs? That was an actual conflict. And the only reason why it didn't get more conflictual is because I maintained my frontal lobe. I could have popped off and then we would have had a problem. And that is what's happening is as soon as it happens, people know based upon my aesthetics, I should be able to say something about middle-aged women, black women, people from the streets, your Midwestern accents. There's a bunch of stuff that you could pick to try to pick me apart. You is not a doctor. All of those things should start a fight, flight, freeze, or appease response because you're living in negativity bias and you're living in your amygdala. So if that's where you live, this is what you expect. But when you move, when you upgrade and go move to your frontal lobe, with your guarded gated community that you live in, okay, with the security, you got guarded gated, called your frontal lobe with your boundaries and perimeters around you. Now people can't get to it. They cannot get to your amygdala because it's fortified. And now you use your amygdala for what it was actually intended, which is actually fight or flight, to process emotions, to keep you from danger, to keep you honest and not lying, your parenting and your caregiving. That's what it's there to do. But you don't live in it. You live in the front. The frontal lobe got way more functionality than the amygdala. The amygdala is all emotion and all survival. That's it. That's why you got to have it. It's acute amygdala-itis. I named that yesterday. And that's what I called it because that's what it is. So yes, it might have been uncomfortable, but we don't seek comfort over here. We seek the truth and we handle conflict when it occurs. And I told him, seek first to understand and then be understood. I'd like to know what possessed you to make those choices this morning. And notice I asked him, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? And the point was he wasn't thinking. Because if he had been thinking, I thought I had my other brain shirt on. If he had been thinking, he wouldn't have done that. Self-control is located in the frontal lobe. When you start doing dumb shit on the internet, you are in your amygdala. You are all logic and reason. Cortisol goes into the frontal lobe. All logic and reason goes away. And now you're just typing dumb shit. And you're looking for dopamine and an adrenaline rush. That's what's happening instead of oxytocin, this nice little love hormone that's nice and calm and that's nice and peaceful. That's how you navigate through your day. So that's why I know they're saying it's psychological and I'm saying it's neurological. And I understand that what the neuroscientists and the neurologists all study, but this now needs to be studied because this is a problem. It 100% is a problem. So they were the lesson from a negativity bias perspective because they were actually creating a negative moment, attempting to hijack my amygdala and throw me off my square so they could leave with a doggone adrenaline rush and a dopamine boost. And what they got was schooled and blocked. Mic drop. Okay, so now we have our without looking it up. And I've decided to use a German word. Some of you may be familiar with it. Some of you may not. But the word is Guten Abend. Guten Abend. G-U-T-E-N-A-B-E-N-D. Guten Abend. Now, does it mean good afternoon or does it mean good evening? Guten Abend. Tag, wie geht's? Es geht's. Das ist sehr gut. Nein. Guten Abend, Frau Thomas-Rodgers. I used to be a Fraulein. Fraulein. That one just got Fraulein's. Fraulein. Okay. Guten Abend. Is it good afternoon or good evening? Without looking it up. Guten Abend. Is it good evening or good afternoon?